Hey friends, welcome. Welcome to video number 3. Today we're going to be talking about the moon. And as I was driving yesterday, I started to think about the sun, the moon, and the rising sign in your chart. These are the basics. These are the essential. If you don't know your sun, moon, and rising sign, go enter your information online and you will get that information, your birth information. But you do need to know your sun, moon, and rising sign, and these are the 3 main ingredients of the chart. And the image that I started to get for the sun, moon, and the rising is that the rising sign is like the conductor, and it directs the symphony. It conducts the symphony. It calls in a quality of being that makes the symphony possible. It is essential, it is pure, it is beautiful. It is the energy that you want to call into your being so that your symphony resounds with beauty and grace. Now, the moon position is like the young student, the young violinist that comes into the symphony hall and wants to contribute to the symphony but doesn't yet know how. So just like we were talking about in video number 2 with the Saturn, we need to grow up our moon position. We need to grow up Saturn and we need to grow up our moon. Eventually the moon position becomes a place that we can really rely on, but we definitely need to grow it up. Now, the sun is like the mature student or the symphony member that's been there for quite a while and knows how to do its thing. And it's a very integrating energy between the moon, which just wants to be comfortable, and this is what I learned how to do in my youth, and this is what feels the best, and this is what this is instinctually what I'm about. And the sun's like, well, maybe we could grow that up a little bit so that you can actually pay the most attention to the conductor, pay the most attention to the symphony, pay the most attention to this gorgeousness that you want to create in your life. So I think it's important that what we do is we address the moon position and we take a look at how we can consciously respond to the moon position. And I'm so interested in how we can do this in our bodies, and in our next video I'm going to tell you about an opportunity to work in our bodies so that we can really change this moon position into something exciting and helpful to this symphony, and so we can really begin to live our symphonies. But meanwhile, the moon in Aries, I want to go through these now and give you just a little hint about each of them. The moon in Aries comes into the symphony hall as the fighter, and it just wants to fight everything and everyone. And the conscious response to that reactivity is to stop and to listen and to breathe and to cooperate and to share. Just breathe and make a wise choice, because if you can do that as an Aries moon, then you are going to be able to wisely impulse your bold new idea, because that's what Aries is all about. Aries conductors want to offer their new idea, and they are aware of others along the way. So you go from the fighter to wisely impulsing. If you're a Taurus moon, the moon that comes into the symphony hall locks into a particular comfortable rhythm and it never wants to change, and there's a focus on being comfortable and there's a focus on meeting the physical needs. So the conscious response brought to that is to use your will to manifest something beautiful. Use your will, because Taurus has incredible will. And ultimately what you can do with the moon in Taurus to add to the symphony is that you can create a rhythm that nourishes what is most beautiful. And of course the word rhythm there is interesting when we think about a symphony. With Gemini, the musician that comes into the symphony hall is scattered, and it keeps everything on the surface, and it's interested in everything, but it can't quite settle down. So the conscious response is actually to focus and to fuse all the scatter and to connect the points of light and to create meaningful relationships and connections. And the integration of those would be to reveal the love, the sound, the symphony that underlies everything through curiosity and the creation of connection. So Geminis do know how to connect when they settle down. The Cancer moon, the reactivity point is to hide and protect your soft underbelly and to hold on to the past. So the conscious response would be to risk rejection for the sake of your work, for the sake of your dharma, to unfold yourself and be vulnerable. Because if you're able to do that as a moon in Cancer, then you can resourcefully build a lighted house for the human family. Then you can offer this nourishment to whatever symphony you're playing. And remember, you might be playing a Leo rising symphony. You might be playing a rising sign of incredible expression. But you first have to risk vulnerability to get there. And that's what a Leo moon has to learn. I mean, a Cancer moon has to learn. The Leo moon has a kind of, I rule, I'm in charge, I am proud, I should be loved kind of energy when it walks in the room. And the conscious response here would be to generously offer your gift for the good of the group and to turn the attention away from the self, or to even turn the attention away from the cowardly lion and just offer it up. And the integration point is is to say, I am the light of the world, and let everyone know this. We are all the light of the world. So the moon in Leo can learn how to turn its attention away purely from itself for the good of the group and for the good of the symphony and the gorgeous sound. The moon in Virgo, as it enters the space, is critical of everything and everyone, and it feels deeply flawed, and it feels like it's done something wrong. And so the conscious response would be to give and receive oceans of love, first and foremost to oneself and then to others. And so it can contribute to the symphony in its ability to organize, systematize, discriminate with great devotion and love. See, that's the question. How can we contribute to the symphony, right? How can we contribute to each of our individual symphonies so we create the human symphony, right? So Libra moon comes into the space and is indecisive. It allows others to decide. It wants peace at all costs. It wants to please everyone. It doesn't want to lead the way. So the conscious response is to assert the needs and loves of the self and offer the fullness of self to relationship, to your stand partner in the symphony. And the integration point is the authentic relationship with yourself, which leads to right relationship with others. So you're an incredible cooperator, but make sure that the self is involved with that cooperation so that both are represented. So that once again, your symphony can sound whatever it is. The Scorpio moon comes in and is wary and can sting and wants to control the situation and is friends with the dark and knows how to brood. The conscious response is to assert beauty whenever possible, to shine the light, to reveal the emotional depths, not to just tuck them away, and to practice trust. So do not isolate with your instrument, but to practice trust so that you can offer up this depth of emotion to the conductor, to the symphony. And so the integration point there is persistence and insistence to fight for the truth. Scorpio moon's going to bring a lot of depth and gorgeousness to a symphony. Sagittarius moon, they come in, they want to run, they want to risk everything, they want to inspire, they want to be optimistic, happy-go-lucky. There's a kind of rampant desire. Let's follow that and let's follow that. It's got a similarity to Gemini in that sense of adventure. And the conscious response here is to wait. Let's study, let's learn, let's be the scholar, let's get the facts so that you can be of true service. And the integration point here would be a one-pointedness on the spiritual path. So if you're a Sagittarius moon and you come into the symphony hall and you've learned how to wield that, you are inspiring and directed and focused, and you're giving to the symphony, whatever it is, your whole physical self and optimism. A Capricorn moon will walk into the space and again have a kind of issue about controlling and managing and taking responsibility for everything and everyone and being very serious and revealing nothing about what's going on for them emotionally. So the conscious response here would be to be the kind parent to yourself and to risk vulnerability and to ask for help and to go in and let someone know how you're feeling so that it's not just all blocked off, because there's an opportunity with Capricorn to achieve like crazy and to be initiated into the next realm of consciousness. But you have to also have the feeling depth available so that it's not just pure and, cruel and directed summiting. I mean, it has to have a sense of the whole, a sense of humanity. Now, an Aquarius moon walks into the symphony hall and goes, cool, all right, my, people. But, it might do that, or it might be like, nobody's like me. I'm a lone wolf, and I'm going to rebel against all of you, and I'm going to play an instrument that I carved with my own hands, and it detaches and it removes. So the conscious response would be to actually invest in a group that matters to you and refuse to be isolated. And the integration point would be authenticity and objectivity in service to humanity. So Aquarius moon loves a group. It wants to play in the symphony, and it wants to play in the symphony for a cause, but it has to really invest in its group and believe in its group. And finally, Pisces, a Pisces would walk in and be a little bit overwhelmed, perhaps, or even overwhelmed with the pain of everybody in the room. There could be a desire to escape or to hide away or to hermit. Or to just imagine something that isn't there. The conscious response is to offer yourself sanctuary so that you can choose with care where you can help the most. So a Pisces moon would have to walk into that space having given itself some sanctuary so that it could then contribute to the group and feel safe and held and well and nourished. So that it can be the compassionate and devoted heart in that symphony. So remember, your moon is there to help you, but unless we really consciously work on it, we get trapped in a habitual behavior that does not serve what we are here to do. And in the next video, I'm going to launch with some thoughts about the rising sign, and we're going to really talk about how we can make this happen individually and as a group. And I have a fabulous proposal for all of you. So definitely stay tuned for our next video. And thank you so much for listening. And I hope that it's been of some good help. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.